Hello, everybody. My name is Jewel Mondros. I am an energy consultant and an intuitive guide. And today I want to discuss the energy of rejection and why rejection is really the thing that's going to propel you forward. It's the accelerator for your creative projects, your dreams, and a little bit about the energy around that. As always, I will be just stream of conscious sharing, and I want to start with a story. And this is my own story of rejection and how I look back at this time in my life and I use it as a very nice foundation and clarity on how to move forward. So, a lot of you probably know me. If you're here, maybe about half of you would know me from the classes that I teach in Amsterdam. I've taught over the past 5 years, I've taught meditation, energy work, and yoga. And I currently do one class at When Nature Calls every Sunday, and it's called Cleansing Clarity. It's with cacao, it's with Reiki, it's with the Oracle cards, with tarot, and a little bit of Kundalini energy. So we're working with energy. And it's 2 hours, it's super special, it's booked out every single weekend. And I've gotten to a place where I only, I can do my work and live my life, and I get to teach this one class, and I don't have to hustle, I don't have to teach all of these classes. There was a time when I was teaching 11 classes a week, and I'm a mental projector, I'm sensitive, and that was just way too much for me and my energy. It affected my body, it affected my spirit, and most people will go through this. I think of this as something that a lot of people go through in business, but also finding what they love and how to share and how to give. And sometimes it comes from financial obligation, sometimes it comes from just like pressure, feeling like, oh, I should be doing this, or people need me. Wherever you are in your journey, you're always getting lessons on how you can move forward and what area needs support. Like if it's financial, the lesson would be like to be a bit more sovereign, learn how to not depend on one structure or one system to give to you financially, which can be a challenging lesson. So we're not saying that these are not challenging, but it can also be such a beautiful gift. And as well, if it is like people pleasing, if you're like, well, I should teach this class, people need me, it's also learning your own boundaries, your own energetic boundaries, what you need. And this crosses over into financial as well. But I want to go back to the classes. I started with Alchemize, and this was about 4 years ago, and this was right when Renaissance opened. I was hired to be a one-on-one healer, to do my energy work, my classic sessions, and which is a soul session with energy work and the oracle cards. That's what I birthed when I started my business, when I first moved to Amsterdam. My classic soul session, super unique. I've never experienced anyone else do anything like it. It was really just, oh, this is what I have to share, this is what I have to give. I also have my own oracle deck, so it all weaves in very nicely. And that's what I still, have clients for today. So why am I sharing this? Because when I was hired as a one-on-one healer at this beautiful new space opening, they didn't have the booking system that I truly felt was right for me at that time. They were still getting things set up. And so I said, well, what about I give this private session as a group session. And they were like, okay, well, we can try it. And that was my in. The first class had only 2 people, and then it went on to completely book out. You know, it took a couple months. There was some weekends where the class was canceled because there were no signups, and this was like the first 2 months. And then after that, every single weekend booked. We added another class, fully booked, pretty much every weekend, and people came from different cities, different countries, to attend this class that I guided, that I created, and the name was Alchemize. So again, probably some of you know me from this class, and I truly loved that class so much. It was such a beautiful experience to bring this to life. And again, this was before there was just like healing studios popping up all over that you could go to. There was pretty much only yoga, yin, and traditional meditations at this point. And I really felt that this is what I wanted to share and what was needed. But before this opening, before I was able to give this beautiful class that was booked out every single weekend, rated top class in the Netherlands, and also had people coming from all over to join, I had tried to get this class going in several different locations. I would say quite some locations, and on my own as well, in my own space. I pitched it to other places, and it never went through in these other places. I was met with so much resistance and so much rejection during that time, and it was super challenging. It was so challenging, and there were for sure moments where I was like, should I even be doing this? I remember at one point I was told that maybe my intentions weren't aligned, or my intentions weren't right, and that's why the class wasn't happening. That's why it wasn't flowing. And I really took that to heart. That hurt, especially because I was young. I was just starting out. I was also going through a massive breakup, trying to get my life together, could barely afford the apartment I was in. And so there was a lot of challenges going on. And I share this all with you because I think sometimes things can look so easy to everyone else, but we have no idea what someone is truly going through behind the scenes. And I really think that something that kept me going was my ambition, my grit, but also those tough moments. They were polishing this beautiful jewel that I wanted to share with the world. Literally, I'm Jewel. But yeah, so I say this, I share this because I feel like it's something important that a lot of people can benefit from, is knowing that just because you're experiencing rejection or resistance, it doesn't mean you're off path. I guess this is also can turn into a bit of, different lessons from the creative project, because separately, my Oracle deck, I didn't necessarily face so much rejection, although a lot of these studios I also pitched my deck to, and it just, a lot of these places up until my class, it just never went through. I still have rejection around my deck. I know my deck is magical and wonderful. My deck is magical and wonderful, and now my understanding is it's not about my intentions. It's not about something that I'm doing wrong, although there is consistency that can be brought into the process to make things move, to bring energy to things, right? Consistency, this is the masculine energy, the structure we need. But then there is the right space, the right relationship. So finding the spaces and the people who meet you where you are and who need what it is you have to offer. It's like a frequency, and you have to match it. So I look back and I'm so grateful. I truly know that I ended up in exactly the right space for me during that time, and it was the most aligned space. It was about the space, and had I been at the other spaces, I think it wouldn't have been the right relationship. This was truly the right relationship at that time. And if you've ever had like a best friend, or if you've ever had like a partner, which I mean, I'm sure you have, then being in that right relationship is everything. Like if you're in a relationship that doesn't feel right, it can really affect you and your energy. Some people are more sensitive to their environments, to the people around them, some less so. I am someone who is extremely sensitive to my environment. I literally will see myself differently in the environments I'm in. And maybe that sounds a bit strange, but I've truly loved and been able to lean into that aspect of me, which has made my creativity better, made me more conscious of the spaces that I put myself in. And so it's really been a blessing to understand that about myself. So the right relationship is so important, and the more rejection that we can experience, that we can allow ourselves to go through, the quicker it is that we'll find the right space. So that was something that really wanted to be shared today, was that like rejection is painful, it's uncomfortable, but you also get to experience the high. That's the low, and then the high when things do work out. And it's not like you have to experience shitty things. I don't believe that you have to experience pain and shitty things to have great things happen. Again, going back to my deck, I created this beautiful deck. I love it. It's my baby. I know so many of you love it. I get so many messages on it, and it's something I'm truly proud of. I think it benefits me. I know it benefits you, and it's just fun. Like, it's just cool. It's cool to create something. It's cool to have like a physical product of something at the very least. Like, it's just cool. So that process, I didn't experience so much rejection, but something that I did experience was having an idea very early on. I had the idea probably 2 years before everything started channeling through. But once everything started channeling through, it took me a month to get it all on paper, and it took me about four months until it was printed and copies were being sold. I had a deal with a beautiful shop in Amsterdam. That was the first shop that ever stocked the deck. They took the remainder of the decks that I had ordered my first round after my pre-sale. So all the decks sold out, and I'm on the 3rd edition now. So for this one, I wasn't met. We have the cheering of the bugs. I don't know if you can hear it. I wasn't met with so much rejection in the creative process of it, but I was met with challenges around timing. And maybe if I had put myself out there, again, like, something interesting about this experience is I had the idea from Berlin. I moved from Berlin to New York. I had it on the flight from Berlin to New York on my way home. I lived in New York just under 2 years, New York City. And New York City was not the right relationship in terms of space for me. It was fine at the time, but I think of it much more, even though it was like multiple years, it felt much more like a transition point. So that is also interesting. It was timing. That was more of a challenge for the deck. But maybe had I been in the right place, had I been sharing more, then, well, we can't even go back to that. it is what it is, and it was what it was, and that's how it was. So the last thing that is coming through to share, and let me see if it's wanting to be shared. Yeah, it's identity. So when you're creating something, your identity is shifting because, maybe if it's a new, whatever it is, if you're a coach and you're creating a new program, you are now someone who has an authority in what you're sharing, and that's an identity thing. Maybe you already had an authority in it, but then to start speaking about it, that is a new identity. So we're always becoming someone new in each creative thing that we are birthing. We're always becoming someone new. And to become someone new means that you have different habits, you have different rituals, you have a different energy field. You share from a different place, you look different, you probably dress different, and this isn't always the case. Again, it depends on who you are. This is why I love working with human design astrology, because it helps you understand kind of better what those tiny shifts are or might be. You already always intuitively feel them, and then human design astrology is like that mirror that goes up to you, that is like, you look in it and you're like, oh yeah, I am doing that. Oh, but I'm doing that for a reason. Oh, I need to be in beautiful spaces, or it's correct for me to be in beautiful spaces because that's my design. Oh, I feel that because of that. So it's always a nice mirror, and it kind of helps bring more consciousness and acceptance into the process that you're in, more compassion for yourself and your unique way of being. Because if we don't love ourselves, if we don't love the way we operate, if we can't lean into that, that's when there's more challenges. So maybe had I been working with human design when I was creating my deck, I would have understood a little bit better right place, right relationship. Although I probably would have stayed in New York because that was how it was meant to be at the time. So the summary is do not be afraid of rejection. Rejection is so challenging sometimes, and it's just a feeling. And if you can fully feel it and allow yourself to feel it, you will move through it quicker, and there's always something good on that other end. It's refinement. Think of it not as rejection, but refinement. And oftentimes it's not even something necessarily you have to fix or change. That's the thing. It's not about fixing or changing things. It's about that slight reattunement, recalibration, that slight shift. And as well, what I found is whenever I experience a rejection, it's more of, again, right relationship, right place, but a little bit of like me understanding what it is I'm actually doing a little bit clearer. And I love clarity. I love clarity. So if I can gain more clarity through rejection, I'm actually gaining something from this energetic exchange. So I felt really called to share this today. And let me know if this was helpful, if you want more of these. And I love you so much for being here. I truly do. I'm so grateful to you, and that we are connecting through space and time in the same universe. And it's so special. So I love you. Ciao.